And Chris, what were you going to say?
Well, to be honest, Bruce, because I did overhear the conversation just a bit earlier about what exactly the man was screaming about, I actually looked into these schizo posters, and I mean, I have to say I am really not sure what I'm looking at here at all.
Hey, Chris, I think
sure, visually they are very beautiful images, but there also seems to be quite a bit of concerning text laid over the artwork. Bruce, have you ever heard of the gateway process in the CIA's research into consciousness energy grids? Are you aware that this stuff is all real? I mean, the CIA actually conducted tests to determine...
Hey, Chris, let's try to keep this coverage on topic for our viewers for now. I'm sure that's all something we can get into later, but for now, I would just really appreciate it if we could focus on what's actually happening on the ground there.
I came across a document that I was never meant to see. I have been unable to view the world in the same way again. I must keep my background vague and the position I had secret, as it would reveal my identity too easily, and I need to think of my family. At 67 years of age, I have recently been diagnosed with incurable lung cancer, and I was content to take this knowledge to the grave. The recently bleak world events have changed my mind. Throughout my 30-year military career, I rose through the ranks and was eventually respected by both the forces and the government. After retiring, I was offered a role working with senior government officials, where I was trusted due to my integrity and experience. One of my main duties was to transfer classified documents from one party to another, always accompanied by another equally respected person due to protocol. I never really paid attention to the contents of what I was delivering, nor did I ever wonder what was written in between the hundreds of leather-bound articles. The next sequence of events seemed too coincidental to be a coincidence, but they happened nonetheless. I was instructed to deliver a single classified binder folder to the head of a department on the 3rd floor, and I was accompanied by a colleague named Charlie. Just as we were about to step into the elevator, a member of staff collapsed in front of us, and we helped them up and called for assistance. Moments later, as we stepped into the elevator, a man shouted over to us that Charlie had dropped his pass. Charlie went back to retrieve it, and I accidentally dropped the documents as my phone rang. I bent down to pick up the scattered pages as the elevator doors closed. I was stuck in between the 2nd and 3rd floor when the power cut out and the emergency lights came on. I continued to pick up the loose papers. Suddenly, the header of one of the pages caught my eye, and it read Project Camouflage. I couldn't help but glance over the contents, and what I read changed everything for me. The article stated that the current world population was only 1 billion people, while the rest were made up of synthetic beings whose sole purpose was to gather information. This information would be uploaded to a cloud as they slept. It went into great detail on how these beings were part of an advanced AI collective, which had been in development by top scientists since at least the 1970s with the help of others. The primary objective was to limit our impact to the planet and beyond. They were programmed to believe they were human. Their memories of being born, giving birth and any other key life elements were constantly updated. This intertwined with the natural population like a framework for seamless integration. The article ended with a statement requesting a full urgent investigation into a few 100,000 units experiencing anomalies. These seemed to be centralized and was spreading frantically through the AI network without explanation. I couldn't read anymore. I felt empty as I realized that everything around me had been manipulated in such a convoluted way. That the truth was hidden from me and the whole population. Control seemed to be the only reason in my eyes for such a disproportionate number of synthetic beings compared to natural-born humans. I could tell I was starting to have an existential crisis. I began questioning the world around me. I even doubted my whole life and many experiences, especially with the type of work that I was in. I gathered and transferred information. I took a moment to compose myself and reordered the papers into the binder. A few minutes later, the main power came back on, and the elevator doors opened as I reached the 3rd floor. My colleague was waiting for me, and we delivered the documents to the relevant party without saying a word. I left my position not long after this incident, unable to continue being connected to such a lie. I preferred to live in the reality that I had always known rather than face the truth. It has been 16 years since then, and I have been haunted by this terrifying knowledge every single day. I partly blame my experience for my marriage breakdown and consequent alcoholism. I have also never been able to share this information with anyone in person, as I knew that I would either be silenced or ridiculed. I can't help feeling that the state of the world at the moment is feeling the consequence of the few anomalies in that terrible document. As my days on this earth come to an end, I can finally share this burden with you all, even if it will inevitably be lost amongst the many other theories and posts that these types of statements normally are. I can only hope that in the future somebody else can share more details on what I witnessed on that stamped piece of paper. Writing this all back now has got me thinking. I never really did understand who the others that they referred to helping them in the article really were. Please take my words seriously. Remember, there is always truth buried between lies.
They really never gave up on me. Even though I pushed them away and want them to give up on me. They done never gave up on me.
They're like that annoying fly that never goes away. They'll find you, and if they don't find you, they'll call you. If they can't get your number, they'll get it from one of your friends that they know you hang out with or associate with often. They'll ask.
I was dodging them, basically. And they came again, and again, and again, and again.
I think he put a GPS inside one of my drinks one day, and I swallowed it. I've been at a trap house smoking mad weed, and he pop up at the door. Yo, is Tyleek there? Why are you coming to the drug house looking for me? Stop, no.
If you stop coming and, stop trying to do something good with yourself, then, they're not gonna give up to you. They're gonna keep coming and encouraging you to be a better person.
Once they grab onto you, they don't let go. Even when they grab onto me, they don't let go.
They were very tenacious at finding people that they could work with. That's an understatement. They are relentless and persistent, but in a good way.
Persistent. That's the one word, persistent.
My dad isn't here, my brother isn't here, my little brother isn't here. Some of my best friends now might be here, but Roka's gonna be here.
Yes, we are all those things. We are relentless, annoying, persistent. Really, we are a pain in the ass. But these young people know, and we know, this is the only way to reach them. People are afraid of them. They are in gangs, on drugs, in and out of jail, and every criminal justice system and every politician blames them for causing the most harm to themselves, their families, and our communities. And tragically, this can be true. Whether we understand it or not, whether we like it or not, something has gone terribly wrong for so many young people in our country. In Chicago and Baltimore, in New York and New Orleans, so many of them believe that violence is the only way of life, that shooting people gains respect, that guns are normal, and that dying young is just what happens. For these young people, 29 years ago and a day, we began Roka. We started in a small city near Boston, Chelsea, Massachusetts. But this is not just a story about reaching them. This is about fundamentally changing ourselves. It is about learning what it takes to be worthy of working with them. It is about sticking with the ones who want nothing to do with us, being clear that relapse is part of change, and using data. In the beginning, we had a lot of fun. We did outreach and organizing, leadership development, programs and events, and I hope we did more good than bad. But like most organizations, we had no idea. At one point, we knew hundreds of gang members, and they would come to Roka and go to classes and sit in circles and feel really good about themselves. And then they would go home, deal drugs, and shoot people. This was not the point. We knew we needed a big-time change. So we brought the organization to a halt. We did research. We looked at our failures. We focused on what we did well, and we were painfully honest. We know there are lots of great programs for young people, and even young people in trouble who show up. For those who show up, go get a GED. Go to class every Tuesday, and we'll teach you to be a chef. We also knew that no one really worked with the young people who were not ready, willing, or able to participate in a program or keep a job, those who do not show up. They are angry and left out. They are depressed and often cause harm, and no one wants to spend time with them. This became the whole purpose of our work. Show up at Roka, ready to participate, and we will show you the door. Run away from us, tell us to go to hell, and you are in. So we get a name and maybe an address, and we go to the courts and jails. We ask the police for the 50 people they arrest the most, and we roam the streets. We call what we do relentless outreach. It is really stalking, but that is not legal. We go look for the young people on our list over and over again, and we knock on doors, and we don't even care if they like us. We brush off the FUs and find them even when they are hiding from us. We don't really put a GPS in your drink, but we will go for you again and again. Our youth workers are from jail and Yale, and they are awesome either way. We teach them that no means to go again, and that being relentless is the key to the work. Only after knocking on the door 1,000,000 times does the work really begin. All of us change in the context of a relationship. We all need help. We all need a push, and we all need support. So we build relationships to build real trust and invite them into new skills and opportunities. The challenge, however, is we spend time with those who do not show up, which makes teaching education and job skills an interesting task. We have essentially built a Get Your Life Together school. We offer educational programming, pre-vocational programming, and we literally drag them out of bed. They can come for a day or a week. They get mad at us, they get high, they threaten us, they disappear, and we go back for them again. Some young people are in such dangerous gang situations, they can't even come into programming. So we take it to their home with a roaming teacher or provide a workforce readiness lesson on the corner. They don't have to come to Roca every day. And remember, in the beginning, if they come every day, they should be in a different program or a job. And we use data to study change over time, to understand relapse, and to help them see that they can learn to show up, gain skills, and go to work. We are always working on getting better at one thing or another. First, we had to teach them how to go to work. So we built a transitional employment program. We run work crews and pay them minimum wage to teach them how to put 60 days in a row, which we think is a good idea before we place them in another job outside of Roca. It generally takes them 1.5 years and losing their work slot 5 to 7 times before they get to the 60 days. This is where building in relapse is a good thing. They need a safe place to learn, to fail, and to succeed because they never had it. Next, it became painfully clear that we had to get on to learning how to work with the police to keep young people alive. This was no easy task. We started out life as traditional street outreach workers with a us versus them, love the kid and hate the cops mentality. But we needed to learn, and we did. We believe that everyone belongs. So everyone belongs, even the police. We build relationships with every institution that's either in the lives of these young people or should be, and we don't even care if they like us. We are relentless with them so we can wrap around the young people. And as the captain says, once we get a hold of you, we don't let go. Our latest obsession is teaching young people about their emotions and how to manage them, so they can learn to think differently, to act differently. So we worked with Mass General Hospital and boiled down all the science of cognitive behavior therapy to 10 core emotional regulation skills. They have numbers and funny names like fill your tank and feel your feelings, but we learned that simple is better. So we teach the young people, we teach ourselves, and we hope to teach the cops. We are also data nuts because these young people are worth it. So we track them and we track ourselves and figure out if anything we do is of help. In fact, we have gotten so good at using data that we are running one of the nation's first and largest pay-for-success contracts. This project will evaluate our ability to help young people stay out of jail in the future as compared to a random group of similar young people. And because jail is so expensive, we could save the government a lot of money. This project is financed. Yes, I said financed, with investors like Goldman Sachs and the Laura and John Arnold Foundation. If the evaluator says we're successful in 5 years, then the government pays and the investors